Welcome to Movie Speeching. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take good care. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is the name of the movie. Please like and subscribe to get every update. The Legend of the Ten Rings has been told for thousands of years, and with each generation the story continues to develop, centered on a man who, some say, found the rings in a volcanic crater. Others say it is in a tomb, but everyone says so knowing that the rings gave him the power of a god with the gift of eternal life. Man could have used these blessings for good, but instead he decided to use them to get what he wanted most, as we waged war against hundreds of peoples and used the power of his rings to single-handedly win battles for many years. The man's popularity grew and he managed to gather his own army, which over the centuries spread, extending to the four corners of the planet. They moved through darkness, overthrowing governments and changing the course of history. Until in 1996, after thousands of years of pursuing money and power, Wenwu discovered a new ambition. The man now wants to find Talo, a hidden village filled with mythical creatures and ancient magic, where people practice the martial arts of the gods. While searching in the middle of the forest, something strange has happened. Happening on the tree has started to move. Try to dodge them. The driver lost control and everyone fell into the abyss except when we got out of the car a few hours later. When walking alone through the forest he found the entrance to Talo, but the village was guarded by a woman-female. Lee ordered her to leave, but when Wu decided to duel her at that moment, the warrior avoided his opponent's attacks and used all his martial arts knowledge to defeat him, with light and precise blows. The woman dominated her opponents for the first time since possessing the rings. Wenwu lost the battle when the rings attacked him. Ang Lee took control of them and used the magic of the objects to ward off her enemies, in an ironic twist to the fate of the two warriors. Eventually fell in love and had two sons. Ang Lee told Shang-Chi, her eldest son, that where she came from, people were empowered by the magic of the Great Protector, which manifested in the form of a dragon. When she left Talo, the woman died despite her strength. She is still a great person. She hung a necklace on him and said that if he ever felt lost, this stone would help him find his way. Nearly 20 years have passed. Sean wakes up and begins another day working next to his bed. There is a postcard with a drawing of a dragon on the back. The sender's address is from Macau, China, and the boy now lives in San Francisco. Sean works as a waiter at a hotel with his best friend Katie. She is very passionate about racing and taking advantage of every opportunity to go for a ride. Even though he thought it was a bad idea, Sean decided to go with him on this adventure. In the evening they went out with some friends and told John how they met. Pursuing his girlfriend, the trio met in high school and Sue was the only one with an established relationship. Career: although Katie had graduated from college and Shang spoke 4 languages fluently, they were happy working as servants. After dinner, they thought about what Sue had said and wondered if they should take responsibility, more or not, but they decided to leave that for another time and spend the evening drinking at a karaoke bar. The next morning Sean went to Katie's house so they could go to work together. While the girl got ready, Mrs. Chen invited the boy to have breakfast with them. Katie's grandmother was anxiously waiting for the two of them to get married, but Sean assured her that they were just friends. On the bus on the way to work, a man approached and ordered Sean to hand over his necklace. The boy walked away from him but was approached by 2 other boys. Katie tried to intervene and ended up hitting her head against the window. When she saw her friend injured, Sean became angry and attacked her attacker. The young man knocked him out with just 1 punch and had to fight 2 others who continued to attack. Tried to steal his necklace. At that moment Katie was surprised. Even though she had been friends with Sean for over 10 years, she would never have imagined that the boy could become a martial arts master after defeating his teammate Razor. In the picture, the man's hands were severed and replaced with an extremely sharp sword that he used to attack Sean. The boy tried to dodge his opponent's base, but as a result the bus ends up being destroyed every time he misses a razor shot. The attack cuts off part of the bus and the brakes are the first things to happen as the bus rushes through the city. The fight continues and the driver collapsed after hitting his head on the steering wheel. As a result, Shang had to get behind the wheel and was attacked while trying to prevent a traffic accident just as he was about to lose his mind. Katie appeared to save him and hit Razor on the head with a fire extinguisher. She took the wheel while her friend continued the battle. The boy came up with the idea of luring his opponent into a second car almost separate from Shang. Ordered Katie to turn right when he signaled. The boy used a blow to make the robbers retreat towards the second car and ordered the passengers to run forward. At that moment, pulls the string asking the driver to stop the bus, and Katie understands that this is her signal to turn. The plan succeeds and Sean finds a way to escape Razor. The problem now is to stop the bus before it crashes into the ocean right in front. Then Katie intentionally throws the bus into parked cars, and the impact causes the car to slowly stop despite the serious accident, from which all the passengers escaped without serious injury, and Shang realized that his necklace had been stolen seconds before being thrown onto the road with the car where Razor caught the jewelry. Immediately Shang ran to his apartment and started packing his things to go to Macau, where his sister was supposed to turn herself in because these guys were after her necklace. Now they had to go get it. The jewelry angered Katie and angrily demanded answers about what had just happened, and Sean told her that the people who attacked them on the bus were sent by his father. The boy was afraid they would harm them, so she had to go to China, and Katie said she would go with her friend on this bus. This trip was during her childhood after Ang Lee's death. Wenwu began training his son from sunrise to sunset. Shang had to learn every way to take the life of a person in the Chow. Women were forbidden to practice, so she practiced martial arts in hiding after observing her brother at the age of 14. Shang was already a grandmaster and was sent by his father on his first mission, but he could not take the life of the man who destroyed his mother, so he decided to run away. Since then he never saw his father or sister again. Upon arriving at the address given, the two men were greeted by a security guard who took them to a club. There, they are greeted by a young man who claims to have become a big fan after watching footage of what happened on the train. John takes Sean to a ring where Wong faces a green monster called the Abomination as the creature is about to attack. Which attack? Wong opens a portal causing Abomination to punch himself in the face. This way, he wins the fight seeing such brutality. Sean says he won't fight but changes his mind when John reveals that the winner will receive a large cash prize. However, when entering the ring, the boy will have a big surprise and discover that he will have to duel with his sister. The girl attacks him with all her anger, and Shang, almost unable to avoid her attack. He knew that Xiaoling was feeling angry, abandoned, and tried to calm her down, but she only stopped attacking when she learned why her brother went there, and she only left the ring after knocking him unconscious a few minutes later while recovering. Shang discovers that his sister is the owner of this club. The young girl remembered that before leaving, her brother promised her that he would return in 3 days, but that never happened. Sean asked why Tu Lin sent him the postcard, but she assured him that she did not send anything to her brother at that time. The club was classified and the girl escaped with a secret exit. Leaving Sean and Katie behind, the guy then breaks the window and escapes outside the building with his friends right after Wenwu's soldiers appear, and Sean decides to stay and fight them while Katie ran toward the elevator. The young man faced the huge warriors while clinging to the bamboo pole, but ended up getting knocked down and falling several floors. During this time, one of the men found Katie and tried to eliminate her while dodging attacks. The girl hung on one of the pillars. Pole and Shang had to run to save her as the bamboo was about to break in the process. He knocked down a few Soul soldiers and finally managed to hold his friend back. At this point, one of the enemies used his staff to electrocute him, and the boy accidentally let go of Katie's hand as he fell. She was saved by Xiaoling, who appeared to help her brother together eliminate all their enemies, and just when they think the battle is over, the killer appears and steals the girl's necklace. Shang ran to catch up and took down the ninja before he could run away. They exchanged a few blows and the boy caught him, knife in hand. Remembering all the terrible times he had gone through at the hands of his trainer many years ago, Shang decides to eliminate him, but is stopped by his father, who arrives just in time. However, the man is proud of his son's performance and says he remembers Katie, and the two brothers are taken by helicopter to Wenwu's hideout, and the man was excited to do so. Announcing his son's return in his usual chirping manner, his father ignored the guard's request to take the girls to the room where they would be staying while Shang visited the room where he was staying. Workout in members. By the time his fist was bloody from being smashed on firewood during dinner, he asked how his father found him, and when we revealed that all this time he always knows where Shang and Kailing are, the man tries to persuade his son to take the leadership position beside him, but the boy refuses to do it at this time, as we remember that when he met Ang Lee, everything he thought about the world had changed. She had awakened a part of him that he didn't even know existed. The woman had given up everything to be with the one she loved, and then he decided, intending to do the same for her. Together, they built a beautiful and very happy family after his wife's death, when we felt lost for many years, but now he has found a way to solve the problem. This issue when his children ran away from that man. immersed himself in studying and researching about Talo village, which is how he discovered the existence of a door stuck in the mountain and claimed that Ing Li was trapped there waiting to be rescued. He knew this because the woman had recently spoken to him and told him that she needed his help to be saved from her own people. The man said that after they got married, Ian Li wanted them to live in Tal. She asked permission from the elders, but they said Wenwu was not fit to live there, so he believed his wife was being imprisoned and punished for abandoning her people. After saying these words, Wenwu took the pendants his wife had given to his children and placed them in a fountain before the dragon's eyes. At that moment, sparkling stones in the water began to pop out from the statue, forming a maze. Wenwu said that the Talo passage is guarded by a living labyrinth, but there is a direct forest path that opens only once a year to go through it. You must know the routes at the time it opens, and now Wenwu, knowing everything he needed in the 3 days he intended to invade Talo and save his wife to do so, he was ready to destroy the entire village. Sean tries to reason with his father and show how silly this idea is. However, he was attacked and his sisters suffered the same fate when she tried to help him when Wu ordered his guards to do so. Arrest them, and when they arrive at the prison, Katie tries to digest everything that has happened. Shang says they must reach Talo against his father's other objections, or he will destroy what is left of his mother's family. They hear a strange noise coming from the cell next door and go there to find out what it is. When the trio meet Trevor Slattery, an actor from Liverpool, suddenly Morris appears and Trevor reveals that he was this little thing grew up with Shang's mother in Talo. The boy said that he had to go to the village and the little monster declared that he could guide him there by going through the maze in the forest. Hearing this groan, he broke through the wall and informed them that his father had a system of tunnels located throughout the complex. This is how she escaped from the village. The first time they arrived at the garage, Katie got behind the wheel and had to escape from the guards. The brothers climbed out the window to take down the guys and Sean caught one of them. The group used the person's fingerprints. Guard to open the door and escape, then they closed the exit to prevent anyone from chasing them as they enter the forest. Morris gave the coordinates and Katie accelerated the car as the trees closed in right behind them. Luckily the girl was an excellent getaway driver and gave up before the car was swallowed. All they have to do is cross the waterfall to reach the tunnel that leads directly to the island. Everyone was surprised to find a place like in a fairy tale, inhabited by phoenix birds and nine-tailed foxes. Through the car window, Morris saw some of his friends and Katie had to quickly stop because while absent-mindedly admiring the beauty around her, she almost crushed the key of Lin, a magical creature. The fawn has a horse's body at its head. After a few minutes of traveling, the group finally met the villagers protected by giant lions. The two siblings got out of the car and introduced themselves as Li Ying's son and daughter, but the Guanbo ordered them to leave the army preparing to attack them, but they returned to their positions when Ing Nan appeared. The woman was Ing Li's sister and had just met his nephew Shang, informed them that they did not have much time as his father planned to invade Talo in the next few days. Ing Nan then tells him that her people are responsible for guarding the Dark Gate and that their duty is to protect humans from all evil that exists. Trapped behind him, Kyling reveals that their father intended to open this door because he believed his wife was trapped inside the woman who recounted how thousands of years ago her people had how to live in peace and prosperity until the day the attack of the inhabitants of darkness took place. This creature came with its army devouring all the souls in its path, and with each elimination they became stronger. Thus the greatest warriors of Talo united to fight their enemies, but even the mightiest men are no match for these monsters in battle. The greatest creature guardian appears, and together they trap the populace. The dark folk in his army behind the Gate of Darkness. Since then the people of Talo have guarded this gate. They have created new weapons made from dragon scales in preparation for the coming war. Ing Nan told them that Wenwu was not the first to try to open the dark door. Until then everyone who tried failed, and the most interesting thing is they all had one trait in common. They were tempted by a voice on the other side that promised them will fulfill their greatest wishes. Katie is also summoned to protect the village and must practice using a bow and arrow to be strong enough to fight while visiting their mother's grave. Both brothers then received their warrior uniforms. Kyling would train in the martial arts style she herself developed while observing her brother. Sean goes to his aunt and asks her to teach him his mother's fighting techniques because she is the only one who can defeat his father. The woman showed him how to start training and Sean quickly understood that he was trying to defeat his aunt. The fighting style he learned from his father but was easily defeated that night. He remembered his mother's teachings and realized that he would have to use the techniques he learned from her if he wanted to stand a chance. Save the village. The boy remembered that. At night, while they were training, some men came and were there to take revenge. Ang Lee tries to persuade them to leave and declares that her husband is a new man, but they are persuaded to take revenge. The woman then asked her child to do it. Hide in your house and prepare to fight these guys. Ang Lee is a skilled fighter and is confident that she can defeat them. But new thugs appear and Sean witnesses his mother being beaten to death. When he arrived home, Wenwu saw his wife's body lying on the floor and decided to return the rings as revenge. The man took his son to a bar, where most of these cowards gathered. The boy identified the men there. The day his mother died and Wu did the rest of the work, Shang was numb with fear at such brutality, but he learned to do the same as his father in later years when we found out who the man was responsible for his wife's death. He sent the boy to get rid of her in the night while they were talking. Shang told him that he lied to Katie. He said that he couldn't complete the mission his father gave him, so he ran away, but the truth was that he killed that man and regretted it, so he decided to disappear and start a journey. New life. Katie tries to reassure her friend Shang that now that he intends to eliminate his father of his own free will, Wenwu is responsible for his mother's death and he cannot allow that man to destroy him. At this time, at home on the opening day of the passage, the Taylor warriors prepare to fight, but Kwang Bo does not allow Katie to use the bow and arrow because he claims she will not be ready in a few minutes. When we arrive with his men, he and Ying Nan try to convince him that his wife had never been imprisoned in this village. The dialogue was in vain and the two groups started a huge fight and battle. Sham saw his father walking towards his mother's grave and gave chase. The boy used a staff made of dragon scales to attack, but was eventually defeated. His father blamed him for standing there watching his mother being attacked, but Sean was just a child at the time and there was nothing he could have done. The attacks continued and the boy had to use his staff to protect himself from the angry rings. He channeled all his anger into attacking his father and tried to knock him down when Sean confronted him and declared that his mother's death was his fault while we were there. Filled with hatred and used his ring to launch a brutal attack, throwing the boy into the river. As he looked towards the door, he heard his wife's voice and flew to save her. The man he used all his strength to attack these scales to free his beloved while cracks appeared. Dark creatures escaped and invaded the battlefield. Flight. The souls of the warriors, seeing their comrades eliminated by these monsters, the warriors of Wenwu decided to join forces with the inhabitants of Talo to destroy the creatures. The function of these beasts is to steal souls to raise the person who lives in the darkness if he is strong enough to be able to pass through the gate, and all of humanity will be in danger. Realizing the situation was getting worse, Katie decided to help even though Kwang Bo declared that she wasn't ready to be at the bottom of the lake. Shang woke up and was surprised by the presence of a dragon. The Great Guardian appeared and devoured a large portion of soul. The blood-sucking army, the warriors used weapons made from dragon scales to try to destroy the remaining humans, but ultimately many were eliminated in the process to prevent the great threat from being unleashed. Sean lashes out at his father and tries to convince him that his mother is not trapped inside. However, the man was determined to knock down this door, and the boy had to use the fighting style he learned from his mother to stop him when Wu decided to use the rings to attack his son, but the boy took control. Get them and use the objects. To stop his father's attacks in battle, Shang tried to take possession of all the rings, but instead of using them to eliminate his opponent, he threw the gems on the ground, reminding Wenwu that his family still exists and begs him to stop this crazy mission. And accepting that his wife was gone for the time being, a demonic creature walked through the door and released the monster which attacked Sean, but his father used his ring to save him after being captured when Wu gave the jewelry for his son and sucked his soul. Just as the boy was about to be attacked, the Great Guardian appeared and repelled the evil octopus. The creature backed away and flew towards the village. Sean joins his sister and climbs aboard the dragon, using the water to trap the demon by eating it. With a new soul, the creature became even stronger and was able to free itself. It captured the dragon and began to suck out its soul. Kwang Ba intended to shoot into the monster's throat, but was soon attacked and had his soul stolen by sucking the soul of the Great Protector. The beast grabbed Kyling and her brother had to use his ring to save her at that moment. The evil octopus appears, is about to obtain the dragon's soul, which will make him invincible. Katie threw an arrow and hit him in the neck. At that moment the dragon returned to the water and trapped him again, the last enemy. Then Sean took the opportunity to hit him with his rings and used his new powers to explode the creature's chest, eliminating its entire army. Returning to the village, the boy was shocked to see dozens of bodies scattered on the ground, but at the same time he felt relieved to know that his friend was well that night. The survivors paid a beautiful tribute to all those who sacrificed their lives to protect the village. Sometime later, Sean and Katie find their pair of friends and talk to them about the challenges they face in Talo. Apparently, Sue and John didn't believe a word of it until Wong appeared in the middle of the restaurant through a gate and summoned the couple to come with him, after which they said their goodbyes. Their friends and follow the sorcerer, leaving all the establishment's customers wondering what is going on. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.